There's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and today's a little bit of a weird report. Usually we're shooting things down there, but we're now doing training for shooting these reports with another person. At the time being, it's just going to be me doing any of the YouTube report videos and stuff. Just pictures are taken by another person. Because we're getting so many orders, I can't keep up. Now, this one here is a 1999 Altezza RS200 that's going to the USA. You can see the engine running perfectly. These are known to be fairly reliable engines. That said, our staff Max has one of these and he loves it. But his had a little bit of issues with running consistently, a little bit of a fluctuation in the idle, a little bit of lack of power. Turned out he needed to change the timing belt and he's still chasing one little gremlin there. But this engine is after the 2J, after the RB26 and RB25, these are one of those engines that people know about, the Beams 3S GE. This is a 210 horsepower, 2-liter variable valve timing, actual real variable valve timing. This is the one that will change your lift on the camshafts, not like most variable valve timing that just changes your timing. Very few engines, actually. I can only think of a handful of them made outside of Honda that do the variable lift as well. And this is one of them. Yeah. Great peach of an engine set way back in the front of the car. This car is called the IS200 or IS300 in other markets, and comes with a 2JZ in North America, 6-cylinder, but no turbos. And this little 2-cylinder with the 6-speed manual that you get in the JDM version of the Altezza is actually faster in, I think faster in a quarter mile, but definitely faster 0 to 60 than the bigger engine version from North America. Less torquey, you have to rev it out further, but that 6-speed manual gearbox helps with the shorter ratios. And then it's a little bit more fun because you're shifting more often, you're running at a little bit higher RPM, and there's less weight over the front, so your handling should be a little bit better. Instead of having that engine all the way out front, very nose heavy, you have a very close to 50-50 weight distribution in this one. And so enough nerdy technical talk. Let's talk about the condition of the car. Timing belt here has been changed at 82,000 kilometers in 2020, so 4 years ago. And currently we have 125. So it's gone 45,000 kilometers in the last 4 years, which is a little on the high side, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to have the higher mileage more recently, because it means somebody was relying on the car, driving it a lot more, and most likely maintaining it a little bit more too. So the coolant looks great, the oil looks great. They kept this little intake thing, even though they changed over to an aftermarket air filter. Aftermarket air filter is a little bit funny. Max was telling me that you actually lose a little bit of power when you go to an aftermarket air filter in the car, because the standard airbox, which is a huge chunky boy that goes here, has some variable flaps inside to speed up the air at lower RPM. So you lose some mid-range torque when you go with one of these, potentially gain a little bit of high end. That's usually how it is with air filters, but maybe a little bit more so with this one than with your typical car. So let's lower the hood here and you'll see they fixed one of the big problems with the Altezza by putting an aftermarket carbon fiber hood on. It's not a full carbon fiber, it's an FRP with carbon layer on the top, but it is very light compared to what I believe is like a 12 kilogram steel hood. You know, at this time, many manufacturers were doing aluminum hoods. The Impreza did, the Skyline did, the Supra did, the Soarer didn't. But many cars in Japan would have an aluminum hood to save that weight. Altezza decided not to, I guess for cost reasons, and as such, changing over to an aftermarket hood should give you a decent amount of better performance. Not so much with weight, although you are saving maybe 10 kilos, but also weight distribution, right? You don't want too much weight in the front. Okay, let's get to the auction inspection sheet here. This is the information given to us from the auction. I'll go ahead and translate this from Japanese into English for you. It's a 1999 Toyota Altezza RS200 Z Edition. Z Edition, the ones with the manuals, are the ones with the Torsen LSD in the back. So keep in mind that you have that. The LSD is generally a good thing, but it means that on a rainy day, you're more likely to slide out the back end, which is fine if you know what you're doing. Just be careful. Auction rate R, interior B, power steering, power windows, and airbag, 125, 115 kilometers, 6-speed manual transmission, and the sales points here. Aftermarket 18-inch wheels are made by Pia, original aero parts on the car, front, side, and rear. And I've always kind of known these as the Z Edition version of the aero parts, but they're not. You can get the Z Edition without these parts on them, but this is my favorite looking front end, and I do like that a lot. 6-speed manual transmission, rear spoiler, Tane adjustable suspension, aftermarket exhaust, and air cleaner. In the note section say aftermarket carbon hood, and roof has been wrapped, so it has. TRD shift knob, various other aftermarket parts, see in person for detail. Timing belt has been replaced according to a sticker, and then the report here. It's an auction grade R because it's been in a front accident that has been repaired. The core support and the left front inner panel have been bent out of shape and then bent back. As such, you're going to be wanting to look for how well the fenders fit the hood, the fenders fit the bumper, fenders fit the door on the front end. For the most part, it's pretty good. A carbon fiber hood, especially pretty much any carbon fiber hood, is naturally not going to fit very well because tolerances aren't very good on these, and they also change shape over time. So you do get a little bit of fitment issue with that, but anyone who has ever had a carbon fiber hood knows that that's a natural thing to have on your car. Unless you go to like the $4,000 carbon hoods, you're going to have to deal with that. And the front bumper is pretty messed up. I'll get to that in a sec. So interior wear and dirty, trim scratched, underside surface rust, various scratches, dents, and repairs. And we have a few extra bonus questions from the person who bought this. And so I already made a special video about this, but the state of the rust on fasteners and various other parts of the car, nothing looks like a problem to me for this car. Smell of interior, there's nothing. What wheels? They are a Pia of some sort. If you know what they are, put them in the comment section. Okay, I had to make a little edit there in order to get a new battery, but as I was saying, the rear ones have a little bit of a wider wheel. You can see there's a bit of a concave look to that compared to the front one here. And it says super light on them, so I would suspect they're super light, but maybe that's just advertising fluff. Pia is a generally high-end brand. Yes, it is the same one that makes the fog lights. I think these are Pia. Let's see. What does it say? No, it says Toyota something, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're not Pia. Pia does make OEM fog lights. Anyways, aircon status, it works really well. Exhaust has a hole in it, and it's a axle back. And the air cleaner is, I think, a Blitz maintenance-free steel air filter. And then oil leaks, nashi, which is Japanese for there aren't any, or no, or none. Okay, the diagram here says A3 on the front bumper because it's messed up. U2 over here on the fender. We have an A2 over here. All of this is explained on our website what it is. Y2 on the back is a crack on the back bumper. Paint fade on the hood. Generally pretty good with a repainted section on this side. Okay, so let's take you for a tour around it now. And I think it's a pretty good Altezza. I think any Altezza is good, but some of them are in a little bit ratty condition. This one, of course, it is a 25-year-old vehicle now. It's now legal for the USA. It's not a spring chicken, so to speak. You're going to have some issues with pretty much any of the Altezzas. It wasn't really the type of car that people were keeping in immaculate condition because of the prominence. This was, you know, the fairly inexpensive first family car type vehicle. This is maybe in the same category as a Subaru WRX Impreza or a Lancer Evolution or maybe even a Celica, something like that. And yeah, we'll take a look at details now that I've been around it. First off, headlights. You can see that one there is fairly yellow compared to the other one, so that's going to need to be polished back up. There's a decent amount of fade on the hood, which is what you're going to see on any of these carbon fiber hoods. Guys, if you ever get a carbon fiber hood, make sure that you keep the wax or the coating on there really good, because the original stuff that's on there, there's probably no UV protection on it at all, and it's going to go all faded. You can bring this back. It is a little bit of a challenge because you have to sand it down and then re-clear coat it, but then you can make it look all fresh again if that's what you want. Wipers, a little bit of rust on the wiper arms there. Let's go to the front bumper now, and it is really rough. So We've cracked the front bumper here. Not we, like as in I did it, because I didn't do it. Somebody cracked that and left some chips, and then they painted it with paintbrush and some paint that wasn't our match. You got a ton of flex cracks in the paint and some touched up areas. There's an actual crack down here and other areas of damage. Most likely this all happened when the car was in the original accident that it was repaired from the R grade. So it can give you a little bit of an idea of how big that accident was. Sure, it's damaged the bumper a lot, but it doesn't look like it was big enough to cause any serious damage to the car. And when I drive the car up and down the street, nothing feels like it's highly damaged. The chassis doesn't feel super fatigued. I gotta say, sorry about a couple of things. The cicadas, which are called semi here in Japan, they're starting to come out. They're gonna be noisy for the next few months if you watch our videos all the time. Also, these guys cutting all the grass on our mini Mount Fuji here. And so today's a little bit of a noisier day than usual. I can see this guy just starting up after a little 15-minute break, which I thought I had enough time to start shooting these reports, but I guess not. So a chip here with some flex cracks that splay out like that. Here's the U2 on the over fender. It looks exactly like the tire had bumped it from the inside. Oh my gosh. I just knocked off some of your paint. And I'm sorry about that, but the paint was already on its way off anyway. There we go, fixed your car. But yeah, the inside of here apparently has paint cracks, and the paint is going to need to be redone there. Okay. Down here, the side skirt has the gasket come out and has separated from the vehicle. Some. And then the plastic here that covers over the other plastic has come back a little bit. Roof is all looking fine here. And then here you'll see the repaint. They painted all the way up and around the entire thing. They didn't just blend it there, which is nice of them. And the car is dirty. Small dent here. But it's looking not bad. Not bad at all. So back bumper on both sides. We're having a misalignment issue there. And then the rest of the back here is good. It has these tail light covers, which I think are a nice look, especially with this burnt orange color. It especially looks really good in the sun. And then a bit of the tail light cover is, or I guess the tail light itself is loose. And then a section here where it's separating. Here's the crack in the back bumper. It's only in the lip at the back. And then here's a look at the back suspension, and you can see some of the steel wool that's supposed to be inside has made its way out because of a hole in the top of the bumper. Or not in the top of the bumper, pardon me, the top of the muffler drum. This is the biggest spoiler that you can get from factory for the Altezza. There were a few other ones. I think it's nice, like it a lot. I mean, coming down here, we got little over fender strips to allow you to pass registration here in Japan, and a bit of a scab on the wheel. Down this side, we're looking pretty good. We have a minor dent here and a few scratches around the door handle. The side skirt on this side has gone and done the same thing as on the other side, just not as badly. And then mirrors on both sides have a carbon fiber cover that has peeled quite a bit. Same thing, anything aftermarket, keep the coatings on them because they're going to go bad quickly. Okay, tire tread is about 50% on the front and about 30%, no, a little bit more on the back. Let me just rethink that. I think it's a little bit more on the back. No, 30% on the back. And they're actually a different brand tire. They're 2020s and 2019s. So let's go now into the interior. We'll start off with the trunk, which for a car like this is a subcompact car, or maybe even a compact car is a better way to put it. You get a pretty sizable interior and trunk. You can fit adults in the back seats, and you can fit plenty of luggage in here. And then you open that up, and there's no damages from rust or sitting water or anything. There is a little bit of wear on this this piece of trim, but that is it. Of course, no rust in and around these areas. Into the back seat now. All door cards are in good condition. Oh man, I know I gotta shoot this video because we have very limited time to shoot these videos, but it really sucks when they're cutting the grass. I'm sorry about that, guys. And to the person who owns this, sorry to have a video that's going to be a little bit noisier. So fairly clean and nice inside here. Again, no smells. There's your fold down cushion and your mystery plastic. This actually goes on the seat rail, probably this one here. So I'll just leave that in there for you to fasten back up. There is a pass through here to put skis in. There's like a little baggie so that they can pass through. Yeah. Also side airbags on the seats. Very cool. Weren't very popular at this time. I think they might have been an option on this car, come to think of it. Okay. All of that functions properly. The folding mirrors, the power windows. Seats in here, pretty, I mean, they are bolstered a little bit. Not hyper bolstered like you're going to get in an Evo or in an Impreza or even a Skyline. But they're pretty decent. They're made out of a kind of a high grip material, so you don't need as much bolstering. Okay, let's pull this key out. Altezza keys always break. This one's no different. They taped it back up. You can get replacements on eBay. Just the plastic piece, and then you wrap it around, or like you fasten it onto the key. Okay, there's a little bit of a rip down here where your heel goes. And then a little bit of threadbare section here in the seat and here. Steering wheel has a little bit of peeling at the top and has lost some of the silver look on this side handle piece. This one's an early model, and because of that, you get a different gauge set. You actually get the speedometer in the middle instead of the tachometer in the middle. They changed that up. And Altezzas are known to have sticky interior dash and stuff. This one's completely fine. Doesn't have any of that trouble, even though it's an early model one. Has not been smoked in. A few little rips in the boots. Oh, I didn't see that one before, so there's a bigger rip in the front of the boot. You can't see it while you're driving. And then a few little rips in this, and a bit of peeling at the top. There's your TRD shift knob. Pretty cool. It looks very much like an older shift knob. This style is like the 8.6 for their shift knob, with the leather coming over the badge at the top. So that's kind of cool. Also has a short shift kit. So I'll show you how short that shift is. Let me just put this down so I can do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and reverse. Okay, and e-brake works, power steering works, throttle feels good. Yeah, feels like a very nice car. A little bit dirty in places, but absolutely can be cleaned up. Okay, we are going to shut this down now. Hope you enjoyed the video of this Toyota Altezza with 125,000 kilometers going over to the USA. I think we're going to see a lot more of these going to the States now that they're legal. They are only legal from this year, so we haven't been able to get them over there earlier than now. And now we're going to see a flood of them heading over. So get them while you can. It's a really good idea. Okay, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.